Today we're going to learn how to make these super cool crochet house shoes. The materials for this pattern, I am using a 5mm crochet hook, and I'm also using worsted weight yarn. This yarn is Bravo worsted weight from Crochet.com in the color Paprika and Sienna. This material will be linked down below. You can also follow along to the free written pattern. I'll have that link down below also. Please make sure you check your gauge before you start this pattern so your shoe comes out the correct size for you. And this is your very first time here. I'm Little John Yarns. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you're always up to date on all of my patterns. And also make sure you check out my crochet merch shop because I have a whole bunch of funny crochet merchandise. I'll link that all below. Enough about all that. Let's hop directly into this tutorial. I'll be giving US women's sizes small 6-7, medium 8-9, and large 10-11. So pay attention to your shoe size. To begin, for a size small, you're going to chain 20, medium 24, and large chain 28. Once you have that, we are going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook. Now for a size small, you're going to single crochet into the next 8 stitches, medium 10 stitches, large 12 stitches. Pause your video here and continue with those single crochets. We completed those stitches. Now we're going to place a half double crochet into the next stitch. For everyone, I want you to place 1 double crochet in each stitch until you make it to the last stitch, which will work together. Pause your video here. We've made it to the last unworked stitch, and we're all going to put 5 double crochets into that stitch. I'll work it with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to be working on the underneath chain. We're going to skip that first stitch, which is the opposite side of where we put the 5 double crochets, and double crochet into this next stitch. We're actually going to double crochet into the next 8 stitches for small, 10 stitches for medium, and 12 stitches for large. But I do want to show you how I put in that first stitch. So remember, that next stitch, not the first. Oop, here's the first stitch, here's that second stitch. And I'm also going to be working over my work. Alright, so continue with those. That was 1 designated number of double crochets. We've just completed those double crochets. Now we're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. Now for size small, you're going to single crochet into the next 8 stitches, 10 stitches for medium, and single crochet into the next 12 stitches for large. Pause your video here and I'll meet you when you're done. You should have 1 stitch remaining. We're going to place 4 single crochets into the stitch. I'll work it with you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. At the end of each round, I like to add a stitch marker because it's very easy to lose that very last stitch. To begin round number 2, we're going to slip stitch to join into the first single crochet. Chain 1. For size small, you're going to single crochet into the next 18 stitches, medium 22, and large single crochet into the next 26 stitches. I'll work the first one with you. You can tell it's the first stitch because when you pull it, it tenses up just a little bit. You see the space? Alright, pause your video here and continue with those single crochets. We completed those single crochets and now we're working on the toe area. This is for everyone. We're going to place 2 single crochets into the next 5 stitches. I'll work it with you. So 2 single crochets into the next stitch. That's 1. 2 into the next. That's 2. Into the next. That's 3. 2 single crochets into the next stitch. That's 4, and 2 single crochets into the next. And that is 5. For a size small, you are going to single crochet into the next 18 stitches, medium 22, and large 26 stitches. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those single crochets. We've made it back to the heel area and you should have 3 stitches remaining. For everyone, we are going to place 2 single crochets into the next 3 stitches. So 2 into this next stitch. That's 1. 2 into the next. Let me remove my stitch marker for the last one, and 2 into that last stitch. Alright, at the very end of this round, round number 2, size small should have 52 stitches, medium 60, and large should have a total of 68 stitches. Now we're going to slip stitch to join. Quick tip for if you're a beginning slipper maker, sometimes it is hard to see that very first single crochet. Let me give you a quick anatomy. Where your last stitch is, you'll kind of see like 2 extra stitches, but they're not stitches. This first little knot right here is your slip stitch to join. This another tight knot is your chain 1, and your first single crochet is right there. And that is where we are going to slip stitch to join to start round number 3. Chain 1. For a size small, you're going to single crochet into the next 18 stitches, medium 22, and large 26 stitches. I worked that first single crochet with you. Remember, the first single crochet goes where if you pull your yarn, it tenses up. And that will be your first stitch. So pause your video here and continue with those single crochets. We've made it to the toe area, and this is going to be the pattern repeat for everyone. We're going to place 2 single crochets into the next stitch, followed by a single crochet. We're going to repeat that 5 times, and I'll work it with you. So 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 1 into the next. That's 1. 2 into the next. One into the next. That's 2. 2 into the next stitch. 1 into the next. That's 3. 2 into the next. 1 into the next stitch. That's 4. 2 into the next stitch. And 1 into the next. And that is 5. Now for a size small, you are going to single crochet into the next 18 stitches, medium 22 and large 26. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those single crochets. We've made it to the heel and you should have 6 stitches remaining. The pattern repeat is going to be 2 single crochets into the next stitch, followed by a single crochet. We're going to do that 3 times and I'll work it with you. So 2 single crochets into that next stitch. Single crochet into the next. That's 1. 2 into the next stitch. 1 into the next. That's 2. Let me remove my stitch marker. 2 into the next stitch. And 1 into that last stitch. Alright, at the end of round number 3, size small should have a total of 60 stitches, medium should have 68, and large should have 76 stitches. For round number 4, we are going to slip stitch to join into that first single crochet. Chain 1. For a size small, you're going to single crochet into the next 9 stitches, medium 11, and large 13. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those single crochets. We completed those single crochets. Now we're going to half double crochet into the next stitch. For a size small, you're going to double crochet into the next 8 stitches, medium 10, large 12. Remember, this time we're going to double crochet. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those double crochets. We're back at the toe area and our pattern repeat is going to be 2 double crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. We're going to repeat that 5 times, but I'll work it with you. 2 double crochets into this next stitch, 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, next stitch, that's 1, 2 double crochets into the next stitch, back into the same stitch again, and 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So next stitch, next stitch again, that's 2 double crochets into the next stitch, one double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So this is the next one, and next stitch. I think we're on the 3rd one, so 2 double crochets into the next stitch, one double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So next stitch, and next stitch, another double crochet. That's 4, and the last repeat, 2 double crochets into this next stitch. It's hard to remember how many times I'm doing this. And 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So next stitch, and next stitch, a double crochet. Alright, so now for a size small, we are going to double crochet into the next 8 stitches, 10 for medium, 12 for large. So pause your video here and continue with those double crochets. We've just completed those double crochets. Now we're going to place a half double crochet into the next stitch. Half double crochet. For a size small, we are going to single crochet into the next 9 stitches, 11 for medium and 13 for large. Pause your video here and continue with those single crochets. We're back at the heel and everybody should have a total of 9 stitches remaining. This pattern repeat is just like the toe. We're going to do 2 single crochets into the next stitch, followed by 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. We're going to do that 3 times. I'll work it with you. 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So next stitch, 1 single crochet, next stitch, another single crochet. That's 1. 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. So next stitch you put 1, next stitch you put another one, 2 single crochets into the next stitch, back into the same stitch. Let me remove my stitch marker. 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches. and put one more in that last stitch. Alright, so at the end of this round, size small should have a total of 68 stitches, medium should have a total of 76, and large should have a total of 84 stitches. So let's slip stitch the join into the top of that very first single crochet. And chain 1 to start round number 5. Round number 5 is easy. We're just going to place one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of all your single crochets around. We've made it around, and once you're done, I want you to slip stitch the join and fasten off your work. Now we're going to attach our new color to this heel. We're going to attach it to the center back. To find the center back, have your work right side facing up and fold it in half. And once you fold it in half, just find the center most point of your heel. And when you're done, we're going to attach our yarn to the back loop. For the next 2 rounds, we are going to do single crochet back loops, or back loop single crochet. I'll show you how to attach your yarn. We're going to do that by chaining 1 and placing a single crochet back into that same stitch. I'll work a couple with you because sometimes it's hard to work over that part where you slip stitch to join. The stitches look funny. So let me get to that slip stitch to join part and show you exactly what to do. Alright, this is the stitch right before that slip stitch to join. Alright, as you can see, there's a knot right here. This knot is not your stitch. That is where you joined your work. If you pull up your work, you see where it tents. That is going to be the stitch you're going to go into. Let's see if I can show you better where it tents, and find that back loop. It's kind of squeezed in very tight. See if I can get it in there. Okay, I got mine. And that is how you work over your slip stitch to join. Sometimes it can be difficult. Alright, so pause your video here. Continue doing back loop single crochets for a total of 2 rounds. And don't forget to slip stitch to join at the very end. We've almost made it to the last stitch of the second round of back loop single crochets. I am going to transition colors, but I'm not going to cut this. We're just going to be carrying this on as we go. To change colors, I'm going to do a half back loop single crochet into this next stitch. Yarn over and pull up loop until there's 2 loops on your hook. Drop your working yarn and pick up your new color and put it on your hook and slide through. Now your colors are changed. Just tighten off with that back color, push your strand to the side, and slip stitch to join. I'm going to slip stitch into that back loop because we're going to do another row of back loop single crochets. Chain 1 and back loop single crochet. We're going to back loop single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So pause your video here, do 1 row of back loop single crochets, and I'll meet you at the other side. We've made it back around. I forgot to mention, but make sure you check your stitches so you have the right amount. At the end of these rounds, you should still have 68 for small, 76 for medium, and 84 for large. Alright, to begin round number 9, we're going to keep the same color. We're going to be changing colors every 2 rounds. So let's slip stitch to join. And we're going to always work in the back loop for the rest of this pattern. Chain 1. We are going to, for small, single crochet into the next 31 stitches, 35 for medium, and 39 for large. And remember, that first stitch is where it tents up. So pause your video here and continue with the designated number of single crochets. We've completed those back loop single crochets, and now we're on the toe area. Next, we are going to do back loop single crochet 2 together 3 times. I like to do a hidden single crochet together, so I'll show you how to do that. I just go into that first loop and scoop up the second loop, yarn over and pull through those. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through those 2. That's 1. I'll show you again. Loop, next loop, loop, and pull through, and pull through 2. And one more time. First loop, second loop, and pull through. I like to do it this way because it hides your stitches a little bit better. Next, we're just going to, for everyone, back loop single crochet into the very end of this round. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the end. We've almost made it to the end of round number 9, but on the last stitch, we're going to transition colors. So we'll go into that back loop like before, pull up a loop till there's 2 loops on your hook, drop that working yarn, and pick up that new secondary color and pull through. At the end of round 9, size small should have 65 stitches, medium 73, and large 81 stitches. So let's slip stitch to join into the very top of the single crochet through the back loop. Because remember, the rest of the pattern is going to be completely in back loops. Chain 1. We are going to skip this first stitch, which is the one that's tinted up a little bit like this, and we are going to single crochet into the next back loop. So skip this one where it's tinted up and single crochet into that next one. Now we are going to single crochet 2 stitches together. Remember how I taught you? Just pick up these loops so they're hidden. Now, for small, I want you to back loop single crochet into the next 23 stitches, medium 27, and large 31. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion. We've made it to the toe area, and now the pattern repeat for everyone. We are going to single crochet 2 together, followed by a single crochet into the next stitch. We're going to do that 4 times. And remember, back loop single crochets only. So single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next. That's 1. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next. That's 2. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next. That's 3, and single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next stitch. Alright, so now for a size small, you're going to back loop single crochet into the next 24 stitches, medium 28, and large 32. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those stitches. We've made it to the end of this round and you should have 2 stitches left. We are going to single crochet 2 stitches together. And we're keeping this color. Now let's slip stitch to join into the very first single crochet. And I know it's kind of hard to see that very first single crochet, but remember, this stitch right here, that is the join, this is the chain 1, and your first single crochet is actually this one right here. Like I said, if you need a stitch marker, please use it. Oops, I forgot, we're going to slip stitch into the back loop. Chain 1. At the end of round 10, you should have a total of 58 stitches for small, 66 for medium, and 74 for large. For round number 11, we already chained 1. So for a small, we are going to single crochet into the next 13 stitches, 15 for medium, and 17 for large. And remember, we're working in the back loops only. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those stitches. We've completed those stitches and now we're going to do another pattern repeat. We are going to back loop single crochet together, followed by back loop single crochet 13 for small, 15 for medium, 17 for large. We're going to do that 3 times. So I'll work the first back loop single crochet together with you. You know how to do that. Now do your back loop single crochet 13, 15, or 17. Repeat this pattern above a total of 3 times. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those sequence of crochet stitches. We've almost made it to the end of the round, but I'm going to change color on this last stitch. Halfway through, drop your working yarn and pick up the opposing color and pull through. Let me tighten that off in the back. And slip stitch to join into the very first single crochet. At the end of round 11, you should have a total of 55 stitches for small, 63 for medium, 71 for large. For round number round number 12, we are going to chain 1. And to save time, I'm not going to say back loop single crochet because it takes too long. Just assume all the rest of these stitches are going to be in a back loop. So for size small, we are going to single crochet into the next 24 stitches, 28 for medium and 32 for large. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion. We've made it to the toe area and now we're just going to single crochet 2 together 3 times. I'll work it with you. That's 1. Two, and 3. For everyone, now I just want you to back loop single crochet in each stitch all the way to the very end. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the end of this round. We've made it to the end of round number 12. At the end, you should have 52 stitches for small, 60 for medium, and 68 for large. To begin round number 13, we are going to slip stitch to join into the top of that single crochet. Chain 1. For size small, you're going to single crochet into the next 20 stitches, medium 24, and large 28 stitches. Pause your video here and I'll meet you at the completion of those single crochets. We've made it to the toe area and the next pattern repeat is going to be single crochet 2 together followed by a single crochet. We're going to do that 4 times and I'll work it with you. Single crochet 2 together. Single crochet into the next. That's 1. Single crochet 2 together. Single crochet into the next. That's 2. Single crochet 2 together. Single crochet into the next. That's 3. Single crochet 2 together. Then single crochet into the next. Now you're just going to do your back loop single crochets all the way to the very end of this round. So pause your video here and I'll meet you at the end to transition colors. We've made it to the very last stitch of this round and we're going to transition colors. Drop your working yarn and pick up your new color. Tighten up your work and let's slip stitch to join to start round number 14. Round 14 is super easy. We're just going to chain 1 and we're going to back loop single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And this will be our last round before we work on a tongue. So pause your video here and continue with this last round of single crochets. We've made it to the end of this round and we're just going to slip stitch to join and fasten off our work. Now we are going to move on to creating the tongue part of our slipper. We're going to start with a chain of 9. Now we're going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here's one and here's the second chain. Now place one half double crochet into the next 6 stitches. Pause your video here. You have one chain remaining and we're going to place 3 half double crochets into that last chain. I'll work it with you. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're working underneath. We're going to skip that first chain, kind of hard to see, which is right here, and start your half double crochets into that next one. I'll work the first half double crochet with you. Skip that first one, go into the next one, and complete a half double crochet. Now place 1 half double crochets into the next 6 stitches. Pause your video here. We made it to the end and now we're just going to fasten off our work. At the end of this row you should have a total of 17 stitches. For the next row we're going to start back at the very beginning, not the side with your tail but at the beginning, and we're going to be creating a third loop half double crochets. If you never did that, I'll show you exactly what a third loop double crochet is. I'll probably show you, let me show you on this orange one, it'll be a little bit easier to see. As you can see, here are your stitches, the normal V's right here of your half double crochets. If you tilt your work just a little bit, can you see this extra set of V's right here? And the third loop are these stitches in the back. Here's the front normal stitches, 1, 2, turn it, and the third loop are these stitches in the back, and that's what we will be working into. Alright, so I want you to insert your hook into the very first third loop of your half double crochet. I know it's hard to see in this dark color. Here's my V, tip it over, third loop. Alright, got it. So let's attach our yarn. Be careful not to pull this too tight because it'll kind of warp your project. Attach with a chain 1. Now we are going to half double crochet into the next 8 stitches. This is 1. Pull your work a little bit. If you still find it hard to find that third loop, sometimes when you yarn over, you find that stitch you're going to work into, just slide your hook behind it, and sometimes you'll kind of pick up the stitch on its own. And that's 2. Alright, pause your video here, continue with those 8 back loop or third loop half double crochets. We've completed those 8 third loop half double crochets. So now we're going to do 2 third loop half double crochets into the next stitch. So that's 1, back into the same stitch, and 2. Now we're going to place 1 third loop half double crochets into the next 8 stitches. So pause your video here. We made it to the end of this row and you can fasten off your work. Now once again we're going to be switching over to the opposite side where you have no tails. We are going to be skipping the very first stitch, which is right here, and working into the third loop of this next stitch right here. So skip the first one, work into the third loop of the next stitch to attach your yarn. Chain 1. We are going to half double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So pause your video here and continue with your next 5 stitches working into the back loops only, or the third loop only. We've completed those 5 stitches and now we're going to start a pattern repeat. Remember, we're just going to be working into the third loop, so I'm not going to repeat it. So we're going to place 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, followed by a half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. I'll work it with you. 2 half double crochets into the next, half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Remember, third loop. 1, next stitch. go. That is one. 2 half double crochets into the next. Half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 in the next, and the next stitch. And that's 2. 2 half double crochet into the next. And 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Alright, we completed that pattern repeat. Now I want you to half double crochet into the next stitch. And we're going to half double crochet 2 stitches together, of course working into that 3rd loop. So yarn over, go into the next loop, pull up a stitch, go into the next 3rd loop, pull up a stitch, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops on your hook, and you can fasten off for this round or row. Just like before, pick up your secondary color and go back to that opposite end where you do not have the tail. We're going to be attaching our yarn once again to we're skipping the 1st stitch and working with the 2nd stitch. So here's the 1st and here's the 2nd. We're going to that 2nd, 3rd loop to attach our yarn. Chain 1 to attach. Now we are going to half double crochet into the next 8 stitches. So pause your video here and do 8 half double crochets. We've completed those 8 half double crochets, and now we're going to do a pattern repeat. The pattern repeat is 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, followed by half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and we'll do that 2 times. I'll work it with you. So 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, next stitch, that's 1, 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, next stitch. You should have, let's see, 4 stitches remaining, I believe. So now we are going to half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, next stitch, running out of yarn, 2, and for the very last 2 stitches, we are going to half double crochet 2 stitches together. Yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook. Go into that next 3rd loop, pull up a loop, 4 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 4. And once again, fasten off your work. Next, I'm going to show you how to put in this last center color going right down the middle. To create this right here, we're going to do something called a running slip stitch. Let me show you. Here's the part that hasn't been worked yet. Can you see these little holes going through your work, like here? This is where we're going to be running those slip stitches through. I want you to take your yarn and make a slip knot. Make sure it's a pretty small slip knot. And take your crochet hook and put it through one of the very first holes of your work. Can you see the hole right there? I'm going to stick mine through. And I want you to pull that loop through. Now take your hook and go into the very next hole. And behind it, I want you to grab that yarn for your slip stitch. I know it's kind of hard to see and it's kind of hard to show you on camera. And slip stitch. Go into the very next hole. And slip stitch. Can you see kind of what I'm doing? I know my fingers are in the way. Next hole, go behind and pull up, slip stitch. Next hole, go in, behind, slip stitch. Next hole, behind, slip stitch. Keep doing that until you make it to the very top of your work. I'm working it with you. I think I made it to the last one. And I want you to cut behind. And take your hook out. And you still have this active loop. Be careful. Go behind your work. And we're going to pull that loop through. There we go. Come on, loop. Got it. Okay. Now we can fasten off our work and pull that tight. And there's your running slip stitch going down the middle of your work. All right, now I'm going to show you how to sew this on to your slipper. To attach the tongue of your slipper, I want you to turn your work inside out. Just be prepared, I'm the worst sewer known to man. What we're going to be doing, we're going to be working that tongue just in that main color area. So I got yarn to match that. I want you to lay this, of course, right side facing down, wrong side up. Place it in the middle. Here's the middle of mine, and this little stripe is the middle of my slipper. And I'm going to be working it around here. When I sew, I'm not going through the entire fabric. I am just going through the surface level of this, the yarn. I don't want the yarn to show through on the opposite side. So I'll just go through the surface level a little bit here. In and around. Surface level, don't put your hook all the way through. Into this next, right into the sole, or not the sole, the tongue, and pull. Surface level of the main slipper and through the tongue. I want you to do that all the way around to the opposite side. Make sure you're staying within this main color. And remember, don't put the needle all the way through because I don't want it to show on the opposite side. When you're done, you can turn your shoe the right way, and this is what it should look like. If you want to adjust it more and add some stitches on the side, you can. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you check out my other slipper patterns, and I'll see you all on the very next video. Bye, guys.